Good morning. Welcome to this morning service, the first service of the year, 2022. We'll begin this morning service with the reading of Juseige, or Sambujo, followed by the reading of Juseige. So if you'll please join us. 生がなし成仏の了承長実法不興味証文政府上昇が利欲人少年上映主文よしくむ上の一生天人し人力縁内公不正無才の少女三苦名交際主役難回避知恵言名詞公もあ平尊小悪のつなつ全宗門高僧上満足いよろ実法日月主樹期天候音符言一瞬愛法蔵法世苦の苦法上内集中専門死神父不要一切物具尊主当本万年質上満特異三愛を読むつむげちつなつみ不詳願学営利奉仕最小 Again, good morning. This morning's Dharma message will be given by Sumi Tanabe.
Good morning, Dharma School students, parents, teachers, and friends. Happy New Year. It's exciting to be here again on a new year, 2022. I'm really grateful that I was able to make it to another year. Please join me in Gassho. This is from Monshu Koshin Otari's book, The Buddha Wish for the World. When hate is not avenged by hate, peace prevail. Namo Amidabus. Namo Amidabus. Namo Amidabus. Several weeks ago, all of you experienced Christmas and the receiving of gifts. How many of you were really happy that you received those gifts? Maybe you weren't so happy that it wasn't something you really, really wanted. Or maybe the toy that you asked for is already broken, or that you have lost interest in it. If it was an electronic toy, maybe there's a new version of it already. Perhaps you received clothes. I know my grandkids did not like to receive clothes. I'd rather have some electronic gadgets. So grandparents usually, if they're smart, give them gift cards so they could buy whatever they want. What was your best gift? My best gift was my middle daughter's family was able to come and spend 2 weeks with me from Maryland. We have not seen each other in over 2 years since the pandemic started. And so it was a happy occasion to have them. They also brought the dog, Buster, named for Buster Posey, the baseball player who just retired. And unfortunately, he is still not trained. But other than that, we had a very good time talking, rejoicing in the fact that we were relatively healthy. During the holidays, I was reading portions of the book by Monshu Koshin Otani, which had been sitting on my bookshelf for many years. The Buddha Wish for the World. It was published in 2009 by my friend Hoshino Seki and the American Buddhist Study Press of New York. It was on the occasion of the 750th memorial for Shinran. In the book, the Monshu writes about Shinran's teachings and that it is time to discover how we can accept and appreciate the teachings during the great changes that are happening still in our society. These great changes are still, the pandemic is still with us. The Omicron variant is playing havoc throughout our country and the world. And we wonder, when is this pandemic going to end? We have seen during the holidays how dozens and dozens of people go into malls and steal items from store owners. We continue to see thousands of people refusing to be vaccinated, even though the different variants keep spreading. We saw people being mean and hurtful to the homeless and others. We saw how man is continuing to hurt our precious earth. We remember the great, tremendous riots of January 6th, a year ago, when insurrectionists stormed our capital. And still some people think that it was okay, that they were there to help the former president. The Monshu states that if people are being crushed by sadness and suffering, I will take my place alongside them and live with them, our hearts beating like one. This is the Buddha's wish. So when the holiday season comes around at the end of this year, please remember that there are gifts which require no money, no running around the shopping malls and fighting with the crowds. The Monshu writes, in Buddhism there is a phrase, the 7 gifts that require no possessions. The 7 gifts are: 1, the gift of the gentle eyes, looking at others kindly. Have you tried that? Looking at others with kindness? The gift of a smile and kind expression. A gift of a smile is so precious. We could give it so freely, and so often we don't. 3, the gift of words, speaking kindly to others. How many times we catch ourselves saying something mean? Try to give the gift of words of kindness. 4, the gift of the physical being, acting properly and treating others with respect. So before you speak, before you act, try to think that, are you treating this person? Are you acting properly? And are you treating others with respect? 5, the gift of heart, touching others with a heart full of love. Oftentimes we forget about our heart and touching others with love, not with envy, not with hate, but with love. 6, the gift of a resting place, offering others a place to sit and rest and relax. 7, the gift of shelter, providing others with a room or a warm place to stay. These gifts are not just for during the holidays, but throughout our year, every day. As the Monshu said, these 7 gifts do not require any money or goods. We cannot live the way the Buddha did, but we can emulate the Buddha. We can then appreciate what a truly wonderful heart the Buddhist must have had in order to accomplish what he did. Another gift that I received during the holiday was a big surprise. And it was a gift of an organization planting a tree in my honor. As you know, we've had a lot of wildfires, we've had disease, so trees have been dying by the thousands all over our country. So this person decided to honor me by planting a tree. I don't know where that tree is, whether it's to replace a tree that was in California or in another state, but truly, that was a wonderful gift. Please join me in Gassho. This is again from the Buddhist wish for the world. The world will look a whole lot better if you do. Namo Amidabus. Namo Amidabus. Namo Amidabus. Thank you very much for listening.
Okay. Thank you, Tanabe, for that wonderful Dharma message. Yeah, things that we can share to make other people's lives often don't require any substance, but then just to acknowledge and to share what we, in the care, hope, love that we have, are things that certainly can improve, hopefully, the lives of others. But thank you for sharing that message with us this morning. I'd like to remind everybody of next week's service is Hoonko, a memorial service for Shinran Shonin. Our services will be a 9:30 service as well as the 10:10 adult English service. Mikami Sensei and I will be the speakers for that. But we'll also have, as a part of that service, a presentation that will occur earlier in the middle of this week and be recorded and then presented during the Hoonko service. It is the certification, Minister Assistant certification that was completed by Dennis Akizuki and Michael Jones, and that will be presented to them in the middle of this week, recorded, and then that recording will be presented during the Hoonko service. So please plan to join us for that. Thank you very much again for joining us for this morning's service. And Mr. Tanabe, thank you very much. Stay well, stay healthy. We were just discussing that maybe since the virus is surging once again, that beginning next week, we'll have our guest speakers or our minister assistants who join us for these services to have their Dharma messages presented from home. We'll see how that goes when the 23rd comes around. The following Sunday after Hoonko is Fusenohi. It is a BWA service, and maybe we can try to see if we can schedule that with remote, completely remote. But we'll work on that. There is, of course, all the ministers' assistants, all the people who are here, except for our office staff. Only our office staff is not in a vulnerable population. The rest of us are old people. And so we need to be careful, take care, and be sure we take precautions as best as we can. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'd like to conclude this morning's service with a Gassho, please. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you again, and we'll conclude with a Gatha by our choir.
Gentle to all living. see the light.
Good morning. Welcome to this morning's first service of the year, 2022. 2022, 2000, the year 2000 seems like such a long time ago now, but it was such a dramatic time. Even then, we were so concerned about what would happen to our clocks and how our clocks would affect the world around us, whether it's in the electronics or that we use on a regular basis, or things that hold our lives together. And there was such great concern over what was happen at that time. But here we are, 22 years later. I've begun to become used to saying 20-something, uncertain about what we used to call 2001, 2002, 2000. It was just uncomfortable using 2000-something in it. Finally, I think in 2022, I am comfortable with that phrase of indicating what year we're in. But here we are at the beginning of this new year. I hope everyone is staying well, observing practices that will help to keep yourself and your family and the people around you healthy and well. Thank you for joining us for this morning's service. We'll begin today with the reading of Sambujo, followed by the reading of Juseige. Please join us. Once again, good morning. This morning's Dharma message will be given by Dennis Akizuki.
Good morning. Let's start by reciting the three treasures, which, if you have the Lord's Service book, is on page 8. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not realize the truth in this life, when will it be realized? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we absorb ourselves in the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves the supreme will. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we be submerged in the depths of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we live in harmony in the great assembly as disciples of Buddha and be freed from all hindrances, becoming units of true accord in the life of harmony, in the spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriads of ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Ame Butsu. Namo Ame Butsu. Namo Ame Butsu. Again, good morning. If you'll join me again, and we'll recite the Nembutsu again. Namo Ame Butsu. Namo Ame Butsu. Namo Ame Butsu. Thank you for joining us this morning. Happy New Year to you all. As Rinban said, this is the first regular service of the New Year 2022. And this is going to be a viewer request Dharma talk. Somebody suggested or requested that I talk about this. So it's about a symbol, and I actually have some images to share that we're going to show. And the first one would be, this is about Buddhist symbols. So I'm not going to just talk about one, I'm going to talk about two of them. So this is like a 2-for-1 deal. The request was for one, I'm going to do two. So symbols are really an important part of our lives. They are everywhere. Most companies, universities, organizations have symbols. You're familiar with all of them, you know, from car companies to Apple to Microsoft. They all have symbols. But sometimes the real meaning of the symbols are not well known or kind of get forgotten in the everyday life. So the two symbols I'm going to talk about, you're probably, most of you are very, very familiar with both of them. They're commonly used on written materials, flyers, at the temple here, photos. The first, and you see on your screen now, is the Dhamma Chakra. It is better known as the Wheel of Dharma, or at least that's the way we know it as. It is considered the Buddhist symbol in the Buddhist world and is used by many schools of Buddhism. It is commonly depicted as having 8 spokes in the wheel, with each spoke representing one of the Noble Eightfold Path: right views, right thoughts, right speech, right conduct, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right meditation. But did you know that other religions also use the wheel? Hinduism and Jainism, the both of which come from the Indian subcontinent, also use the wheel. And did you know that there are versions of the wheel that have more and less than 8 spokes? The meaning of the wheel depends on the number of spokes. There are versions of the wheel, and if you want to Google them and put Dharma Chakra or Wheel of Dharma and 8 spokes or 10 spokes or 12 spokes, you'll see versions of this. So 10 spokes. The 10 spokes represent the 10 directions: north, south, east, west, northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, up and down. 12 spokes, which represent the 12 links of dependent origination, which I will not try to explain to you today. 24 spokes, which represent the 12 links of dependent origination and the reverse of the 12 links and liberation from samsara. 31 spokes representing the 31 realms of existence, and 4 spokes representing, guess what? The Four Noble Truths. And in addition to the spokes, the other 2 parts of the wheel also have some meaning, but the meanings really kind of vary. You know, we have the rim and the hub being the center. One website I found, Learn Religion, said that one common explanation for the rim, the outer edge of the wheel, is that the round shape represents the perfection of the Dharma, and the hub, the middle part, is sometimes said to represent the 3 treasures, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And it's also said that when Shakyamuni Buddha gave his first sermon at a deer park in Benares, he set the wheel of Dharma into motion. Now, the wheel of Dharma is not only used by Buddhist sects, but can also be found in things such as the flags of Mongolia and Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is basically a Buddhist, you know, they're heavily Buddhist countries. It is also used to signify Buddhist chaplains in the U.S. military. And in some military cemeteries, it is engraved on the tombstones of deceased Buddhist members of the military or veterans. And of course, as you're familiar with it, it's the name of the BCA newsletter, Wheel of Dharma. Now we get to the second symbol, which you see on your screens now. The second symbol is the official crest of the Jodo Shinshu Honganji-ha, or Nishi Honganji, which is our sect of Buddhism. It can be found on many places on these temple grounds. The doors of the temple, right here. On the pews, on each end of the pews. And this is known as the wisteria crest because, as you can may be able to see, there are 2 wisteria blossoms forming a circle with the vines intertwined in the middle. The wisteria, which is native to Japan and China, among other places, usually grows on a vine and has fragrant flowers in shades of blue, lavender, and red violet. And in our sect, the wisteria is oftentimes shown in purple. Now, in Japan, again, families and companies, institutions have their own crest, their own mon. The wisteria is actually not the original crest of the Honganji. The first was the chrysanthemum crest of the imperial family. And that's because back in the 16th century, a member of the Otani family, the Otani being the family being the hereditary leaders of the Honganji, married into the imperial family, and the Honganji became an imperial temple. That's according to a book written by Reverend Mas Kodani. But when they had the Meiji Restoration, when the shogunate was overthrown and the emperor came back into power, Emperor Meiji restricted the chrysanthemum crest to only immediate members of the imperial family. So the Honganji had to get a new crest, a new symbol. It was decided that the crest of the Kujo family, strong supporters of the Honganji, would be the crest of the Honganji. And it has been the official crest of the Honganji since that time, which is about 1868. That is why the Japanese name for the crest is Kujo Sagarifuji no Mon, or Kujo Pendant Wisteria Crest. Now, getting back to what the wisteria represents, just in Japanese culture over history, the wisteria has represented love and long life, as they can live for more than 100 years. There's one wisteria at the Ashikaga flower park in Tochigi, Japan, that is reportedly 144 years old. But in Jodo Shinshu Honganji-ha sect, it doesn't represent long life or love. It represents humility and sincere reverence to Amida Buddha. And that's how the drooping blossoms are kind of in that vein. So there's some fun facts about the wisteria crest that I found out. I found an article, Pop Religion in Japan, Buddhist Temples, Icons, and Branding by a woman named Elisabetta Porsu. She wrote that Zen and Jodo Shinshu sects have incorporated Hello Kitty into items for sale. For example, there are apparently phone straps that have the image of Hello Kitty and the wisteria crest together. I did a Google search, but unfortunately I couldn't find any examples of that. But last night, looking around, I found a Hello Kitty charm sold by the Salt Lake City Temple store that features Hello Kitty wearing a Montoshikisho, which is this. It has the crest here, and I think it's very tiny, so I think that Montoshikisho has the wisteria crest that Hello Kitty is wearing. So if you're interested, go to their website and you can buy one of those. And in popular non-Buddhist context, there's a popular manga you may have heard of or called Demon Slayer. Well, in Demon Slayer, the wisteria acts as a weapon against demons. So could come in handy if we're attacked by demons here. If we have any live wisteria, though. So there are other Buddhist symbols, of course: lotus, elephant, images of Shakyamuni Buddha, images of Amida Buddha. But the wheel of Dharma and wisteria crest are the two you will see most often. So if you have any other ideas for or suggestions for me to talk about, contact me and I'll do that. So I hope you found that interesting, informative. I found it interesting just researching it. So thank you very much for listening, and please join me in Gassho and Nembutsu. Oh, one other thing. I forgot. There's a third slide. There's a third slide. We actually have one that's a combination of the two. If we can get that back on. So there you see it. That we use this. It's actually the Dharma wheel, and the wisteria crest, the Sakari Fuji, is in the middle. So very cleverly positioned in the middle of the wheel, forming the hub of the wheel. So I thought that was pretty interesting as well. So now this is really the end. So please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you, Dennis, for that very interesting Dharma message. Hello Kitty, Hello Kitty and Honghanji. I think that's a combination that can't go wrong. So thank you anyway for talking about these symbols that we have in Buddhism, and at times these symbols have great power and meaning for those who look to Buddhism or look to Jodo Shinshu. These symbols represent certainly the teachings of the Dharma. But thank you very much for doing that. Next week is Hoonko. It is Shinran Shonin's memorial service. It's a major service, and so we'll have our Uchishiki up and our two guest speakers, Reverend Mikami and myself. I'm sorry, that's what you're going to have next week for Hoonko. But please plan to join us for that service. During the adult service, we'll have a recording of a presentation that will take place later on this week, midweek, of the certification of Dennis Akizuki and Michael Jones as minister assistants. They completed a 2-year study course, the Jodo Shinshu correspondence course, and in doing so qualified themselves as a certified minister assistant. So it'll be something that they've worked hard for, but also that the Betsuin has looked forward to having them as our certified minister assistants. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. The 23rd, the following Sunday after Hoonko, is Fusei no Hi. So the BWA normally holds this Fusei no Hi separate service, separate from our morning services. But in the past couple of years, we've combined this to include this Fusei no Hi as a part of the 10:10 service. It too is a special service. Program will be developed for that, and our guest speaker for our Fusei no Hi. And this is really actually a guest speaker, Reverend Mikame. She has been tasked with being the speaker for that morning. So please plan to join us for next week's Hoonko service and the following week's Fusei no Hi service during the 10:10 service time. Thank you very much for joining us. As we close, will you please join in Gassho and Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. And I would like to invite the choir. Well, the choir, not to invite. We have a recording of the choir, and I would invite them to make that choir presentation. I think I forget what it's going to be, but anyway, Kevin Kitagawa will play that for us. So as we conclude, please enjoy the choir presentation.
Gentle to all living things,
おはようございます。新年明けましておめでとう。また今年よろしくお願いします。今日の2022年の最初のお参りを始めさせてもらいます。どうぞ一緒にサンブジョーとジュセイゲをいただきましょう。 しむじょのしが不満足政府上昇ががお無料行不意内聖種不採所便不政府上昇ががし成仏の妙所長人法不興味所門政府上昇が利欲人少年上映主凡用心不無常の一生天人し人力縁内公不正無才能少女三苦名法祭主役難回避地営言名詞公も案平尊諸悪のすなつ全宗門高僧上満足栄養老実法日鎮圧主重機天候音符言一週解放像法世苦の苦法上大集中専門 次に三帰依文を一緒に読みます。三帰依文。人参受けがたし、今すでに行く。仏法聞きがたし、今すでに聞く。この未根性に向かってどせずんば、さらにいずれの章に向かってかこの身をどせん。大衆もろともに指針に参謀に帰依し立てまつるべし。自ら仏に帰依し立てまつる。まさに願わくは主情とともに大道を体現して無常意を起こさん。自ら法に帰依し立てまつる。まさに願わくは主情とともに深く教蔵に入りて知恵海のごとくならん。自ら僧に帰依し立てまつる。まさに願わくは主情とともに大衆を通りして一切無下ならん。無常人人未明の法は百千万号にも相合うことがたし、我今検問ちょっと待ってね。我今検問し受持すること得たり、願わくは如来の真実義を消し立てまつらん。ナマンダーナマンダーナマンダーナマンダー。ありがとうございました。今日のお参りをみんな一緒にこういうふうに集まってきてもらってありがとう。今年のまたこのCOVID のパンデミックで今年またこういうふうに Zoom でこの YouTube とこういうふうにお参りする続けてするつもりですけれど、みんな大事にしてこの体を気をつけてください。別の方からお参りするときに葬式お参り普通のお参りと人がこの本堂に集まってきてもらうときにはできればこの本堂周りの部屋も全部ステラライしてそのフォーガーでステラライしてできるほどセーフにするようにやっています。でもできれば家でお参り一緒にお参りしてくださいまして本当にありがたいことだと思います。これは一番どういうかなセーフですね。家の中で一緒にこういうふうにお参りするとそういうチャンス、COVID のかかるチャンスがすぐに少なりますから、できれば家から一緒にお参りしましょう。家から本堂でもどこでも私たちの浄土真宗の阿弥陀如来の大悲大地がどこでも行きますね。ここ本堂なくても家におると他の ところにおっても必ず阿弥陀如来がそこで私たちのために働いておられます。本堂は大事です。この本堂の中にいろんなお参りか組織かミーティングもいろんなこともう100でない85年間の間にたくさんああいう大事なことがこの本堂にあります。その間にいろんな人と会ったこともあります。それでこの本堂も何回もやり直しましたんですね。この天外も新しく75年の時にこれやり直したんですね。ピューも全部変えたんです。100年の時にこの席を全部やり直した。その前のピューが本堂のバルコニーのこの窓のすぐ外にあるまだその元のピューが残っています。でも変えてもどういうかな続けてその85年の間に本当にいろんな大事なことがあります。100周年の時に大畑林番が内陣も全部できればその将軍を全部入れてもらいましたんですね。その時に任天街も入れました。そう仏天街もその時に伊藤さん、日本から岩田屋の人が伊藤さんが別に来ていろんな手伝ってもらって、そういう任天街も七高僧と聖徳太子の上にこの任天街を入れました。普通のはそういう任天街ないんですね。仏天街だけその阿弥陀如来の頭の上にそういう飾りがありますけれど、でもこの別院でこの新しいではなくてちょっと珍しい仏天街が聖徳太子と四高僧の飾りの上にかけてあります。でもそういうふうにたくさんの人たちがこの本堂で集まってたくさんの人たちが力を入れていろんなことをありますですね。このランテンもこういう巻き障子でもこれ全部人の寄付でこの本当にどういうかなこういうふうにこの本堂ができることができました。みんなの陰で別院が続きて生きることができます。本堂は本当に大事です。その力で集まってこういう立派なところを作るのができましたので本当に大事なことです。大事なところです。でも考えられないことですけれど、もしこういう本堂なかったらどうでしょうかな。この立派な大事な建物なかったら どうかな。よう考えれば、これは大事けれど、その元の大事なものは、もちろん阿弥陀如来の本願ですね。その本願で私たちができればこういうふうに大事な本堂を建てられました。1936年にこの本堂を建てた時に本当に難しいところだったんですね。でもそのちょうどグレートディプレッションの時だったけれど、でも人が集まってその寄付してこの本堂を建てられました。本当考えれば本当にどういうかな、珍しいではなくて本当にありがたいことだと思う。人が集まって力を合わせてこの大事な本堂を建てられました。阿弥陀如来の本願はいつもその元の大事さですね。その阿弥陀如来の本願でこれが本当に大事なことですから、こういう立派な本堂を建てられました。その念仏、南無阿弥陀仏の南無阿弥陀仏はどこでもいつでもその私たちのために働いておられます。こういうふうな本堂なかったらちょっと寂しいと思います。もう慣れてるから。でもなかったらどうするの？どうしますか？なかったもその阿弥陀如来の本願がいつもどこでも私たちのために働いておられます。だからそのありがたさですね。ありがたさももっともっと深くありがとうとな心があると思います。浄土真宗にはその念仏は感謝の念仏と言いますね。いろんな周りのもので感謝の心があるけれど、この本堂でも大事けれど、その念仏でそのみんなが集まってきて建てられました。その念仏の元ですね。いつも元です。それが本当にありがとう。この念仏、この本願で私が浄土真宗に参らせてもらって、私も助けてもらいます。そういう心でこういう立派なところを建てられました。そういう気持ち、そういう心でそのありがたさ、本当に感謝の心でみんなが集まって一緒にそのことを考えながらこういうふうにもう何年間、もう100年、もうちょっとで100年になりますけれど、まだそういう心が残っています。何にもなかっても阿弥陀如来がもうちゃんと私のために働いておられます。何にもなかってもそれが本当に大事ですね。もしどっかに何かあって周りの何もないところにおったらどうするの？阿弥陀如来の本願がもうこ ここだけですか？そうでもないですよ。ここだけではない。どこでも、いつでも、ちゃんと私のために働いておられます。これは念仏、感謝の念仏ですね。本当にありがたいことだと思います。こういう凡夫の者のために働いて、こういう凡夫の者を助けてもらって、本当にありがたいことだと思います。それで安心な心で生きておられます。これから何をなるか知らないんですね。わからない。でも、あってもなかっても、ちゃんと阿弥陀如来がそこにちゃんと私たちではなくて、私が浄土に参らせてもらって、本当にありがたいことだと思います。今日は最初のお参り、サンデーのお参りで一緒にお参りしてきてもらってありがとうございます。また今年よろしくお願いします。来週は本校のお参りですね。朝は9時からダーマスクールサービスで10時10分のお参りは本校のお参りです。親鸞上人の命日のお参りです。亡くなった親鸞上人のお参りです。その時にどうぞ一緒にここでお参りしてくださいます。次のサンデーは23rd になりますけれど、その 23rd はregular Sunday service 9:30 to adult English service。その次の日、January の最後のサンデー、30日のサンデーは、BWA の布施の日、その時に特別にのお参りがありますので、その時にもどうぞ一緒にお参りしてくださいます。じゃあ、これでこの今朝のお参りをこれで終わらさせてもらいます。本当にありがとうございます。また今年よろしくお願いします。最後にどうぞ一緒に念仏をいただきましょう。ナモアミダ仏、ナモアミダ仏、ナモアミダ仏、ナモアミダ仏。Can we do choir? No? Okay. じゃあ、next time まで。Thank you very much, everybody.